Nice to see you.
Hi!
Hello.
This is so exciting.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited you said yes. I've been dying to talk to you and find out a little bit more about your journey, because I'm always really fascinated with people who've kind of really niched down and have such a specialized focus, because I think it's awesome. And I love Pinterest. So, yeah, I can't wait to kind of hear all about you. And yeah, your journey. So maybe let's start there. I hope you had a good weekend, by the way.
I had a great one. Yes, it was my nan's 84th birthday, and we went and hung out with family, and then stayed down there. She lives in Rockingham for a couple of days, and finished up at the beach with beers and chips for dinner. It was epic.
Absolutely perfect.
How was yours?
Perfect. It was really nice. We were up at Scarborough yesterday afternoon, just having a bit of a play with the kids and a hang out with some friends, and yeah, it was really nice. It was getting busy though. I'm like, oh my God, it's not even summer yet, and it's like packed.
Everyone flocks down there, hey? Yeah.
They do. So tell us a bit about Amee and Juicy Creative Co. and kind of your journey and how you got to where you are now.
Okay, cool. I'm like, I always wonder how far back you want me to go. But briefly, I used to work in hospitality, and then I started working in events, and I worked in hotels all around Australia. And then I'm from Esperance, but like Perth home. So I came back here, and I just started getting a bit sick of working for other people and kept job hopping because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. Then I became a beer rep. Then I went and worked on the mines doing events. Like, I've done everything you could possibly imagine. And then I started an events company, and it just didn't really go very well because I was really sick of being told, like, doing stuff for other people. I just really wanted to create my own stuff. Anyway, so I decided to take a few months off, just go work in a bar over summer, live my best life, then like come in swinging for 2015, right? That was the plan. And I was about to go back to my FIFO job, which was running events on site. Like, it was really cruisy, 2 and 2 roster. It was amazing. And I was like, give me another couple of months. I'll come at the end of summer, blah, blah, blah. My boss was like, no problems. And then I got pregnant. So
Spanner officially in works.
Yeah, it was like I was going to move to Bali. Like, I had this whole life planned out, right? And I got pregnant, and I was doing network marketing at the time. I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I'll just keep doing network marketing, but just like wasn't really into that as much either because I didn't feel like I could make it my own the way I wanted to.
Too many rules.
Pregnant. Yeah, too many rules, like way too many rules. And also, like, I'm not a hard seller. Like, I'm really conversational, and I like building relationships. And do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really like, come on, start up. It makes me, I just don't like it. But after I had my daughter, I just had this kind of like identity crisis, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel me anymore. And then I started researching. Fucking love researching. I love it. And I discovered enclothed cognition, which is all about like you could do your hair, and then all of a sudden, because you feel better with your hair done, it means you have more energy and you're more, you got more vitality, blah, blah, blah. So I started running workshops for mums, teaching them how to do hair and makeup in 5 minutes and styles, like got a stylist in and all of that. And it was really cool. Like, it was fun, but it wasn't like, I don't care that much about how I look. So the passion wasn't really there the way it should have been. But in the meantime, I started researching. Like, I've always used Pinterest since the beginning of time. And I started researching like how to do blogs, I built my own website. Like, I just learned all of this stuff. And then I was like, okay, I'll just go get a job. Could not for the life of me find a job that really gave me the flexibility I wanted to still be able to be a mum. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to make one. What am I going to make? Like, what am I going to do? And I was speaking to one of my friends. She's like, Amee, you're like obsessed with Pinterest. Why don't you start managing people's Pinterest account? And I was like, great idea. I'm just going to go do another course just to build my confidence. As I was doing the course, I was like, oh, shiny things. Oh, Instagram. Oh, Facebook. Like, and not even doing it, right? And no word of a lie, I was listening to a podcast, Stevie Says Social podcast, and she was interviewing Jess from the Commune Space, and they were talking about workshops. And I was like, what if, like, I still got to do events, but I got to create my own and taught people how to use Pinterest. And everyone was like, no one cares about Pinterest. Pinterest is dying, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I think
I'm going to make you care.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I was like, look, if anyone can make people care, it's me. Like, I'm literally there's not much more I'm excited about more than Pinterest.
Yeah.
And then, but it was really everything I learned when I was doing the other workshops that set me up for all of this. It was all of those like late nights and like months spent plugging away building websites and podcasts and webinars and So and here we are.
I think when you've done the DIY journey, there's so many points of connection and relation to potential students that you've got coming, because so many business owners these days do DIY, and it's totally fine. You know, particularly when you're starting out, you don't always have the budget to outsource to someone or to get someone to manage something for you. So it's really nice to have also been on that journey, because you can just relate. Like, it's just so much easier to connect when you've been through the same frustrations.
Exactly. And it's so good because like I can add so much more value in that sense, especially like if they're, you know, a bit like behind where I might be now, because I spent 4 full 5 years learning all of that. It's so good because I'm like, oh, have you thought about this? And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, go do that. Like, it's so good. Yeah.
So you're now running workshops only focused on Pinterest. Do you think that you'll kind of keep focused on Pinterest for the immediate future?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think down the track a little bit, like I keep getting carried away, but I've got to like rein myself back in all the time. I'd love to run ones showing people how to run workshops, because I think there's a lot of little things that get missed that are super important, and it doesn't have to be like this big, expensive, elaborate affair, but there are so many little things you can do that just add value to people and just really improve their experience, because ultimately they're there. That's why they're at the workshop, because they want to be around people. They go for the experience. It's not about just the learning. Because a lot of people learn or feel they learn better face to face. And that's totally fine. Like, everyone's style is different. And if you can really make that that experience, I guess a branded experience and something that's so memorable, that's also, they'll remember what they learned even more because of the positive experience that they had. Yes, that's why I call them parties too, to just like add a bit of lightness and chuck some booze in there, and then all of a sudden it's more fun than like go get talked at for 4 hours.
I'll learn anything over a couple of glasses of champagne, anything.
Right? And then like the other part of me is like, I get to drink booze and work.
Goals.
Right.
So with a little one, what does your typical routine look like, or what does a normal day look like for you? All over the place.
All over the place, and it changes so much. Like, especially with the seasons as well, because we're very like outdoors all the time. So I've actually just changed it up again, because it stopped working. I guess because as she grows and develops, like what might have worked really great a couple of months ago stops working. And also I have to keep on top of like managing both of us. So I keep it quite loose, in the sense like I allow for it taking an hour to get into the car, and you know what I mean? Like things like that, or maybe she's just not in the mood for it today, or so I have set play date days. Where I book play dates. Our morning usually looks like I changed up a little bit this morning, but usually we get up around 6. That's her, not me. We get up at 6. She has breakfast. I start pottering around a bit, get her all set up, and then I work. And then at about 9 o'clock, I go to the gym, and she loves going because they've got a play area, and that's her fun thing to do. And then our day, that's how I start our day, is so it doesn't start until like 10:30, but I still get work in. I feel like if everything else turns to shit for the day, I've got my workout in, I've eaten, I've got a big chunk of work done. So I'm ready for whatever happens.
That's so important.
It is, because I have non-negotiables that I need for me to function and survive as a human being. And that's how I kind of keep them in place, is do all of that. And then our day starts. And to be honest, she dictates a lot of it. Like, it really just depends on what she wants to do, how she's feeling. If she's feeling a bit sluggish, like we've had a big weekend like today, I'll be able to plug away a bit more at work, and then go to a park, come back. And then the worst part about all of this is my best performing time that I just am so in flow and productive is dinner time. Like, they used to call it witching hour. And that's when I'm like, I need to be working and just channeling it.
Oh, no.
So, I know. but we're getting pretty good at it. Like, we're getting good at making it all work. Like, I'm not supposed to admit this out loud, but she had dinner in front of the TV. Like, I get it all set up. We make dinner together. Then I do that. Yeah, in a minute, babe. She's hungry. She heard me talk about food. Yeah, and then I'll work. So I might only be able to work in like 20 to 30 minute snippets during like each session, but I try and make sure it's aligned when I'm like first thing in the morning and then around dinner time, because I'm too fried after bedtime to really produce anything anymore.
Yeah. That's so interesting that you've got that kind of productivity burst at that time. Like, I've never spoken to anyone who's just like, oh, bring it. Like, all my ideas are just bursting out of my head. I'm normally like, oh, I'm just going to switch off for a while. Let's do a podcast while I'm cooking dinner. And that's my... That's me done.
What happened.
And then I always get this, I get a second wind at about 8 o'clock and I'm like, okay, let's work for another couple of hours, which isn't great. I don't want to do that anymore, but
no, it's hard to wind down to sleep.
So but I agree, early in the morning, if you can bang out your most critical to-dos at that time, then it really works. Do you use anything to kind of keep you organized, or you just kind of go with the flow and just kind of remember everything?
Well, I have like my Control Freak Daily Chaos one where I'm trying to start time blocking, but I'm like, honestly, I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
So I actually have quite a few random things. Like, I've got a diary that I have, and I try the night before to write out like what I need to get done. Yeah. I have Post-it notes like bloody everywhere, because I'm like, burst of ideas. I'm like, okay, got to do that.
Yes.
Move them around.
Yeah. And then if something for the shopping list comes in, you can go, oh, cool. Yeah, no, we need that too.
Yeah, that goes on a Post-it somewhere else. Does.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that I set my alarm, so it just reminds me when I can do things. Do you know what I mean? Like, like how much time I've got to get it done, and then I've got to stop and move on to the next thing. Yeah.
I find that really helps as well, because I think, you know, it's so common, you know, the more time you have, the more time you take. But if you say this has to be done by 11, or this has to be done the next 20, 30 minutes, you're much more likely to get it done and be able to move forward and you know, if you're solely focused on that one thing. So absolutely.
Exactly.
Otherwise it's just, if I've got all the time in the world, I'll take all the time in the world.
Right. It's so bad, hey?
So I'd love to hear some of your kind of digi hacks and tips, and totally fine if they're all Pinterest related, because can't wait to hear them. But what are some of the things that you have really seen, you know, the tactics that you've seen kind of really move people's businesses forward, you know, from the workshops and the parties that you run?
Hang on one sec. What's wrong?
Sure.
Okay. I have no idea what she's saying. It's more just about showing up every day and building that consistency, especially on Pinterest, because the reason why I've designed the workshops the way I have is so you can get all the important stuff done in the workshop. So you don't have to go away and, like, you've still got action stuff, but it's all set up ready to go. And I can see who's showing up every day, who's putting their content up first, who's having fun with it and experimenting and exploring. But probably, I don't know if this is classed as a digi hack, but when you start blogging over just like making fresh content on Instagram and that's when I see businesses really start to get more power and time back, more momentum, because they're driving people to their website, which Pinterest is designed to do, right? But also you're then pulling your captions and your Facebook, and then you've got all this content everywhere else. So that's when you really start to build momentum, like longer term. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying to see these guys that are running with it, right? That are like, they're getting it. They're seeing what I'm saying. It's all clicking and making sense. And they're like, oh my God, like I can grow my email list. Because your email list is where you're going to, like Pinterest is not necessarily going to have as high a conversion as email. Like your email list is the goal. That's where it's really at. All Pinterest is going to do is like grab them and get them on that list. So that's what I reckon like is probably the biggest like the transformation I see, like from when they go there, get what I'm saying about blogging and then doing that. But Tailwind, Holy shit. Like, Tailwind automates everything, and it's just so bloody easy. Like, there's some features I don't know how to use properly on it, but, like, you don't even need to. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just automates it. It's done. It schedules it at the peak times. You don't even need to guess. It does it for you.
Yeah, it's like, if you don't know, if you don't know, we'll tell you.
Yeah, like, here it is. And then you can play around with it, and, you know, like, just... And Canva, like, Canva's the best digital hack in the whole wide world, because all of a sudden, like, I've got 4 different ways that this image could look, so that I can split test everything so bloody easy. Like, I get very excited about Canva.
I think we all get very excited about Canva. I just kind of think, gosh, if Canva wasn't in our lives, how much more difficult would it be? But I totally agree with you about, people understanding that Pinterest is seeing it less as a social media channel and more as a search engine. So just as you blog for SEO purposes, you also blog for Pinterest, and, to drive that traffic back to your website, and seeing it as a traffic driver, as opposed to, oh, here's another channel that I have to create fresh new content for. You don't necessarily need to do that, because it's the content that you probably should be already producing, but also just, leveraging Pinterest. And again, when you're time poor, using something like Tailwind is, an absolute godsend, because it just, instead of something like Instagram or Facebook where you feel like you need to show up every day or every second day, you can kind of batch a little bit more using Tailwind as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not having to engage. It's not having to, like, respond to comments. And do you know what I mean? Like, because that's, like, I love it. I love being on Instagram, but it's such a huge chunk of my day. Whereas Pinterest, I'm just like, God, and the traffic just keeps coming, and I'm like,
go and do the work.
Go forth and bring me eyeballs. Yeah,
exactly. Awesome. I totally agree with all of those little hacks and tips. On the same page. What's one thing that brings you wonder every day?
Wonder. Her. Havana. I think, do you know what? I actually think the fact that we can pick up our phone or a tablet or a laptop and be able to work anywhere and be able to make anything happen and recreate ourselves and rebuild, and do you know what I mean? Like, we can build empires from our phone, and every day I'm like, how amazing is this? Like, how amazing that I'm at a park, Havana's playing, I'm in the sun, and I'm working. Like, I get to do, like, all of the things I love at the same time.
Yeah. And
it's incredible.
It is incredible. And I think it's one of the great privileges of, I guess, being a mum in business.
Come here.
Certain types of businesses can't do it so much, but, for when you do have a service-based business that is around, and leveraging social channels, there's so much of what you can do on the go. So it can be a bit of a hindrance being able to access that stuff all the time, but for the most part, if you use it smartly and you're clever about it, and you're not a slave to it, then it really works in your favour. Absolutely.
It does. Yeah. And it's almost like everything can be, because I always, when I start scrolling or I'm just like mindlessly, I'm like, wait, is this an income producing activity? No.
Absolutely.
What can I do to switch it? Yeah. And it's just like I can hang out on Instagram and switch it into an income producing activity. I'm like, that's the best.
That's amazing.
Yes. It's one of my favourite things.
All right. Now, last question from me. What do you love most about the digital marketing space? Having kind of worked, in hospitality, I also worked in hospitality for a number of years, and, now kind of focusing solely on Pinterest. What do you love most about, I guess, the digital space?
Probably what I just said, that I could build a business from home on my phone. Like, I actually started all of this. All I had was an iPad, and that was it. And I built everything from that. Do you know what I mean? Like, just being able to have that available, which has opened up so much more for our lives together, which means I don't have to go to work like 5 days a week and try and juggle all of the things. Like, I can really create. Like, I can work at 5 o'clock, and do you know what I mean? Like, I can pick what times I'm in my creative flow and I work best and I'm most productive and do it then. Like, that.
Absolutely.
Being able to do that. It's such a luxury.
Exactly.
So amazing.
And from anywhere in the world. So if you guys wanted to pick up and travel around Australia for a year, you could absolutely do that.
Yeah. Yeah, which I totally want to. Like, my big dream is when I was pregnant, I went to Mexico for my 30th, and I was like laying in a hammock in Puerto Escondido, and like you could hear the waves crashing, and someone was playing like Bob Marley, and there were birds chirping. I was like, I want my life to be like this. Like, I want to have midday naps, and I want to be in hammocks, and I want to do that, but then I want to be able to be creative and just have it all. And I'm like, you can.
Yeah.
Totally can.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you've got another workshop coming, party, Pinterest party.
Yes.
Coming up this month. Is it next week?
I've got one on Saturday in June to Love.
Awesome.
And then I've got another one on Thursday the 19th at Alan Bear's new warehouse space.
Amazing.
In Dianella. Oh, no, I'm so excited. It's so
that's
cool.
going to be awesome.
She's done an incredible job. Yeah, and then so I'm running 2 a month.
2 a month.
From now on. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I hope to get to one very soon.
Oh, I can't wait to have your one.
Yay. Thank you so much, Amee. And
thank you.
Love to Havana in the background there.
She's like, she's sitting on her bed, her iPad's died, and instead of getting up and coming and getting something, she's just like, Mom!
Yeah. I get that all the time. Oh.
It's like peasant slave. Don't you know I'm here and I need you?
Exactly. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day together, and thank you so much again for joining me. It's been awesome to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Kat.
You're so welcome. And thank you to everyone who joined us and gave a wave and said hello.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Yay. You're awesome.
Hi, Carmen. I can see Carmen.
All right.
Have
a great
Monday.
Day. You too. Enjoy the sunshine.
I will. Can't wait.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay. See ya.